chance for rain this afternoon, and the chance increases this weekend. Wind showers could impact your weekend plans. Fort Bragg soldier charged, accused of using classified information to win a bet. How he was able to make a huge profit off the capture of the Venezuelan president. New water restrictions. Another town in Wake County is putting rules in place for how to use water during the drought. What you need to know and how you can avoid fines. We have some hot temperatures before our next cold front arrives. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Lovigood. Thanks so much for joining us. We have WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner out in the weather patio to show us a little bit more. Actually, it's not Elizabeth. It's Amy Wilmot that's out there on the patio. And we're seeing some of the conditions already in 80 degrees temperature-wise.
Very warm out here. I just checked our weather station that we have here on the patio. It's 83 degrees on the patio. 84 right now in Durham, 80 in Garner, already 85 in Holly Springs and Chapel Hill. So it is definitely warm outside. It's going to be a hot afternoon. We expect a high temperature around 90 this afternoon around 4 o'clock. And that would be the fourth time so far for the month of April, which would tie the all-time record high number of 90-degree days in the month. So it's definitely been hot, and it stays hot today. It stays warm tomorrow, but we'll start to cool things down as we head into Sunday, thanks to our next weather maker, which is a cold front back to the west of us. A lot of severe weather with this cold front, but as it approaches North Carolina, it is going to weaken. So we don't expect severe weather here at home, but we are sure hoping for some much needed rain. If you have some outdoor plans this weekend, we have some scattered storms in the forecast Saturday, especially late in the day. It's looking more like the evening and nighttime hours. And then Sunday, a few showers possible in the morning. And then that system moves out and things will be pretty nice the second half of your Sunday. Hour by hour tomorrow. So the first half of the day is dry, which is good. We have Race for the Cure, so many races tomorrow morning. The weather looks good for those events outdoors. But by the time we get to the afternoon and especially the evening hour, notice those rain chances going up to a 60% chance by 8 o'clock in the evening. So we will have a better chance for some storms as we head into Saturday, and we are sure hoping we get some good totals from that. We'll take a look at the potential totals and another look at this with Futurecast coming up.
All right, sounds good, Amy. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Well, today, a Fort Bragg soldier charged with using classified intel to win a $400,000 bet appeared in federal court. Gannon Ken Van Dyke made money off of the prediction website Polymarket, according to federal prosecutors. And WRAL's Carly Haynes was in the courtroom for that today. Kind of set the stage. What was the vibe like, Carly? What happened?
Well, the judge allowed for his release today in the form of an unsecured bond. The case is being transferred to the District of New York, but there were also conditions for his release, and that included no access to guns unless ordered by the military. He had to surrender his U.S. passport and no excessive drinking. When we sat in the courtroom, Fort Bragg soldier Gannon Ken Van Dyke was charged with using classified military intel to bet Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro would be out of power by the end of January. And he's accused of insider trading since he was part of the operation to capture Maduro. Last month, WRAL did a documentary about sports betting and the growth of these prediction markets, where experts said the concern for insider trading is heightened when people can bet on nearly everything.
You can bet on the most wild things these days. And you got Kalshi and Polymarket, where you can bet on if the sky's going to be blue and if Donald Trump's going to burp today. And there's $200 million in the pool.
This surging industry that really falls into this legal gray area as it stands. Meanwhile, Van Dyke's next court appearance is scheduled for April 28th. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Now, I should mention, this is the second scandal this month involving a member of the Fort Bragg community. Earlier this month, Courtney Williams was formally indicted for communicating and transmitting national classified defense information. In court, the judge ordered her held under house arrest until her trial. She also can't have any contact with the media and no access to social media. The indictment says that she specifically revealed true names of those in the special military unit, as well as the unit's tactics, to a journalist who later published a book.
Happening today, a memorial service will honor the life of a Durham teen who was hit and killed in a DWI crash. WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes joins us now with what we know about Jack O'Shea. Elizabeth, he was just 15.
He was a Cardinal Gibbons High School student, and he was described as a vibrant and energetic boy who loved sports. His family said he was having the perfect day before the crash. It happened last Saturday night just before 9 o'clock near the intersection of Coal Mill Road and Wyndham Lane. His family said he was riding an electric bicycle home after spending time with friends when he was hit by a drunk driver. He died at the scene. Now, that driver, Joseph Severino, now faces a DWI charge. He told authorities he drank earlier in the night. A judge also issued an order to revoke his license. Severino is the grandson of former Duke basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski. Now, there will be a mass celebrating O'Shea's life today at 3 p.m. at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Durham. Another celebration of life will follow the service at Crossdale Country Club, and the family is asking attendees to wear one of O'Shea's favorite team colors.
All right, thank you for that, Elizabeth. New water restrictions are in effect in Fuquay-Varina.
The town joins almost a dozen other cities and towns facing water restrictions right now, including all Raleigh water customers and people in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro. WRAL's Kirsten Clark explains Fuquay-Varina's goal is to reduce overall water use by 10%.
We're outside of Fuquay-Varina's town hall, and if you take a look, you can see this grass and landscaping is not as lush and green as you'd like to see this time of year, and that's simply because of how dry it's been. Fuquay-Varina sources its drinking water from Raleigh, Johnston County, and Harnett Regional Water. Since Raleigh moved into Stage 1 water restrictions, the public utilities director here says that Fuquay must follow suit. So what does this mean? Starting today, customers can only use sprinklers on certain days. If your address ends in an even number, you may only water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If your address ends in an odd number, you can water on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Customers who violate these restrictions will be penalized. The first violation is a warning. The second violation is a $50 fine. And if there's a third violation, your water will be shut off.
We're all in this together, whether it's us partnering with the city of Raleigh or our neighbors in Holly Springs and Harnett County south of us. So we all just need to work together and get through this first stage.
We wondered if Holly Springs, which neighbors Fuquay, will implement their own water restrictions. The town's director of utilities says it'll likely happen soon.
And so we'll be following with Harnett County Regional Water. And at this time, they're continuing to monitor, but we're expecting maybe sometime next week.
Parrish says that Stage 1 water restrictions in Holly Springs will also follow a 3-day watering schedule depending on your address. In Fuquay-Varina, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
The waterfall, splash pad, and Watermill Mountain are now open at Gibson Play Plaza. That's where you're seeing live right now through our WRAL camera networks. Other splash pads at Raleigh parks are open today. We checked with the city of Raleigh, and a spokesperson says the city has this water that is recycled, it's treated, and then recycled again. So keep that in mind. You can learn more on the statewide drought and the local water restrictions on the WRAL YouTube channel. Just search the word drought once you're there.
And I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center this noon. The FDA has announced that it will offer a fast-track review for 3 psychedelic drugs that are being processed right now. This announcement comes, of course, as these drugs could treat mental health conditions, including depression, which is the latest step by the Trump administration toward possible approval of the experimental treatments. So the president signed an executive order just last weekend directing the FDA and other federal agencies to speed research and loosen restrictions on psychedelics. The FDA said that it awarded priority review vouchers to 2 companies studying the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, and then a third company received a voucher for a drug related to a treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. The FDA did not name the companies involved right now. Laura, thank you. North Carolina Wesleyan University is preparing to launch a new program to prepare students for careers in reproductive science. The university will offer a post-baccalaureate certificate program in applied reproductive biology. NC Wesleyan is partnering with Art Lab, the world's largest IVF training center, to train future fertility lab professionals. With fertility rates declining, university officials say the demand for assisted reproductive technologies is growing, and they say this will offer students new pathways into a highly specialized field. The lab is taking shape at Rocky Mount Mills, and the program starts in July. And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, the Justice Department has dropped an investigation into the Federal Reserve and its chair, Jerome Powell. This announcement coming in this move really clearing a major roadblock to the confirmation of his successor, Kevin Warsh. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, D.C., Janine Pirrillo, said on X
today that her office was ending its probe into the Fed's extensive building renovations because the Fed's inspector general would scrutinize them instead. The move could lead to a swift confirmation vote by the Senate for Walsh, who's a former top Fed official that President Trump nominated in January to replace Powell. We know that North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis had planned to oppose this until the investigation was resolved, effectively blocking his confirmation. This opens the doors for a fast track in this process.
So your next flight may be more expensive as the war in Iran continues to drive up the cost of oil and jet fuel. Airlines are cutting back on routes to save money, and because of that, plane ticket prices are rising quickly. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey spoke with passengers at RDU about how they're taking this.
Higher fares, higher fees, and fewer flights. That's exactly what you can expect for this upcoming summer travel season. Your next flight may be impacted by the war in Iran, driving up the price of oil and jet fuel. Flight costs are rising quickly. Airlines are also cutting back on routes to offset higher fuel costs. Delta just announced they're suspending their route from RDU to Vegas this summer. Tanza Moy and Sherrod Bass Knight are flying to Atlanta today. They say the price to fly to and from Atlanta has nearly quadrupled since their trip last year.
Last year going to Atlanta, a return flight was probably about less than $100. On certain airlines, we saw like $400 plus for a one-way coming back from Atlanta.
If your preferred airline suspends a route, you can still have some options to rebook. So if you're one of those people who wants to fly from RDU to Vegas, you still have options with Southwest and Frontier. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News at RDU.
And the war in Iran is leading to a spike in gas prices. These are the latest numbers from AAA as of this morning. The North Carolina average jumped 6 cents from yesterday to $3.86. In Raleigh, $3.90. And in the Durham, Chapel Hill area, $3.94. Next at noon, fires burn in Georgia. We're going to give you a closer look at the wildfires spreading there as their state deals with drought conditions, too.
Don't drive distracted. What automakers are doing to make sure you're committing to safer driving habits.
And demands for transparency. Why students and staff at UNC are demanding the university reveal findings from an internal investigation.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive dual.
Good afternoon, Raleigh. We're getting you a live look outside right now on a pretty pleasant day, though it is a warm one, though, so make sure you stay hydrated. Your time is 12:13 as you're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
Lace up your running shoes and get ready for the Komen Triangle Race for the Cure. Tomorrow's event marks 30 years of raising funds for breast cancer research right here in the Triangle. And it takes place at a new location in Durham at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The race will begin at 9 a.m. and the celebration will continue after the race until noon. Mike Mays and Laura Levine will be the MCs. WRAL is a proud media sponsor. There are multiple Relay for Life events taking place this weekend across our area. On Saturday, the 1 mile walk will take place at Fenton Square in Cary. There will also be events later today at Franklinton High School in Franklin County and Lake Benson Park in Garner. WRAL is a proud community partner. For more weekend activities, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
Well, you can check out some of the best koi and goldfish in the country this weekend in Raleigh. The Raleigh Elks Lodge and Lead Mine Road is hosting the 2026 ZNA Carolina Koi Show and RAS Goldfish Show. Admission is free, and vendors will be on site selling koi, goldfish, pond supplies, and more.
More than half of the counties in the state of Georgia are under a state of emergency due to ongoing wildfires fueled by exceptional drought. Governor Brian Kemp announced a declaration for 91 of the state's 159 counties. Fortunately, no injuries or deaths have yet been reported. Now, because of the wildfires in Georgia, we have seen smoke spread across the southeast. Meteorologist Grant Skinner explains how we could see impacts to our air quality through the first part of the weekend.
With ongoing wildfires across the southeast, especially towards Georgia and Florida, we could see smoke move into our area through the rest of the day today and also into Saturday. Could lead to some of a milky, hazy sky and also could lead for a beautiful sunset later today. You can see the majority of the wildfires are in northern portions of Florida through southeast Georgia. It also aligns with the path of Hurricane Helene as it moved through in 2024, moved through the Big Bend through portions of central Georgia, and a lot of impacts for parts of North Florida all the way up through Augusta, Georgia. Some of the debris from that is lighting for fuel for these wildfires that continue to move across portions of the southeast. And look at this area as well across parts of Florida and Georgia. An exceptional drought. It's the highest drought category. And we're seeing that kind of also fueling these wildfires across, especially portions of Georgia. You can see smoke from yesterday from visible satellites still kind of pushing to the north. And we'll continue to watch satellite throughout the day today to see how that changes. But we had an air quality alert yesterday. We'll have another one today, not for our area, but back to our west areas near Charlotte. We'll have an air quality alert as they'll see a code orange alert day for, areas that have decreased air quality overall because of these wildfires. Here, a moderate air quality risk for today and tomorrow. We'll also see smoke, again, continue to move into the area. Once our next cold front passes, that smoke will move out and those winds will shift up. Some cooler temperatures to end the weekend.
And with those cooler temperatures, obviously the talk about rain, that's the focus right now with meteorologist Amy Wilmoth out in the WRAL weather patio. I mean, that's really what people are looking forward to right now. But the rain we're expected to get, Amy, it's not as much as we would like to see.
No, but I think everybody just wants something in the rain gauge, and I'm thinking we'll get it on Saturday and Saturday night. Today we have to deal with the heat. It's pretty warm here on the patio. At least the humidity is down, and then tomorrow we'll have that opportunity for some much needed showers and thunderstorms. And then following the front on Sunday, some cooler temperatures. Highs will dip down into the 70s, but it's 84 right now on the weather patio. I just checked the weather station, so that temperature continues to go up. It's 84 in Raleigh, it's 85 in South Hill, 82 right now in Fayetteville. After school practices, make sure the kids are hydrated. They probably need 2 water bottles today with temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s this afternoon. It stays warm through the evening. We're still in the low 80s at 7 o'clock this evening with just a small chance for a passing shower today. If we hit 90 today, that would make 4 90-degree days so far for the month of April, and that would tie the all-time record. It's been pretty hot, a pretty hot start to the spring. In fact, the hottest on record, the start to spring. Let's talk about the rain. Just a small chance for a shower today. Most of you will stay dry, but tomorrow rain chances go up. A 40 to 70% chance, still a 30% chance on Sunday, and maybe a couple of isolated showers on Tuesday as well. For the rest of the day today, it's mainly dry, but a couple of showers are possible. We have a front to the north of us, so we could see a couple of showers in our northern counties later this afternoon and this evening. But again, I think the vast majority of us are going to stay dry. Saturday, the first half of the day looks okay. It's going to be fine. We'll have some clouds around, but as we head into the second half of the afternoon, and especially during the evening hours, we'll have some scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. And some of that will linger into Sunday morning. It won't be widespread Sunday morning, but a few of those showers could linger into the first part of the day on Sunday. Here's a look at how much we could get through the weekend, anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Chris mentioned how we're not really going to get a lot out of this. We need anywhere from 10 to maybe 15 inches of rain in a 1-month time frame to get out of the drought. That is not happening anytime soon. But again, our gardens, our lawns, we need at least something because we've only had 1/10 of an inch of rain so far this April. That's 2.5 inches, more than 2.5 inches below normal out at RDU. In Fayetteville, we've had almost 3/4 of an inch of rain, over 1.5 inches below normal there as well. So again, it's just been so dry and we are in desperate need of some rain. So we are hoping, and we're doing the rain dance out here, for some rain on Saturday. Saturday evening, Saturday night, lingering into Sunday. Monday is a beautiful day, mostly sunny to kick off the work week, a high of 74. Back to some spotty showers and storms Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll be back in the 80s as we head into Wednesday and Thursday as well. Overall, pretty nice out here today, but it is starting to get a little bit hot.
All right, thank you, Amy.
Cutting down on crashes. Next at noon, April is Distracted Driver Awareness Month. After the break, the steps some automakers are taking to encourage safer driving habits.
Plus, the man with the silver glove hits the silver screen. Michael is now in theaters across the nation, but is it a thriller or just bad? And if you see some breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or maybe some video or pictures of severe weather where you are, so long as you can do so safely, report it to us at WRAL.com/report it. So if you didn't know, this month is Distracted Driver Awareness Month, and safety experts are highlighting ways to keep both drivers and pedestrians safe in this increasingly digital world.
Evan Brown shares some high-tech solutions from automakers.
If you have a distracted pedestrian and a distracted driver together, that could be a really bad combination.
April is Distracted Driver Awareness Month, and car makers are putting a spotlight on the best ways to keep folks safe behind the wheel. And of course, the main problem is the smartphone. One expert called it the mascot of distraction.
When you look at the phone, you have this really long glance, and then you look up the road for a short period of time, and you do that over and over again, and that leads to this diminishing of situational awareness.
Now, big tech is giving a hand to big auto, including GM, America's biggest automaker. They've developed technology that can help cut down on crashes by 85%, including a new driver attention monitoring system designed to reduce distractions, with an emphasis on keeping drivers' eyes on the road through screen placement and size.
Big screens do have some major advantages. Also, we're really moving towards a more sophisticated type of voice assistant. We want it to be like there's someone in the passenger seat at all times.
But in a digital age, there's also a recognition that drivers will be using their devices in the car. So experts say the best way to stay safe is to preset things like music and navigation.
If you can take care of a lot of these things prior to ever driving, you're going to have a more relaxing drive. You're going to have a safer drive.
And that was Evan Brown reporting. Now, to put this in perspective, more than 3,000 Americans are killed each year due to distracted driving.
Oh, well, today is the day that Michael Jackson fans have been waiting for a long time. The biopic Michael is now in theaters across the nation. The reviews are rolling in with fans saying that it plays like a greatest hits album. The film is, of course, directed by the same person who directed Equalizer and Training Day. And Nia Long plays the matriarch, Katherine Jackson, with Coleman Domingo portraying her husband, Joe Jackson. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 96% on the popcorn meter, which means that it's verified hot.
So, of course, today we are asking, what is your favorite Michael Jackson song? Can you just choose one? We know there are a lot to choose from, but here are your choices: Thriller, Billie Jean, Human Nature, Beat It, Remember the Time, and Bad. Share your voice right now by scanning the QR code right there on your screen, or you can head to WRAL.com/yourvoice, and we will share the results before the end of this newscast. Some people already voting for Human Nature.
It's a tie between Thriller and Beat It for me, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Top two. And, you know, it's not on there, but I love Man in the Mirror. I'm starting with the
yeah, you know.
I mean, there are so many.
I won't punish
the
our viewers.
The soundtrack of my childhood.
Well, your time right now is 12:26, and we're talking about pressing for more information. Right now, students and staff at UNC are calling on the administration to release information from an internal investigation. We're live on campus where students are demanding answers.
Plus, the dangerous pursuit of perfection. A viral trend could be putting more young men in danger. We explain looks maxing and how you can talk to your child about it. And here's a look at the winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers. We'll be right back.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
UNC students and faculty are rallying on campus right now, calling for the release of an independent investigation into the university's School of Civic Life and Leadership.
Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Monica Casey. She is out there right now on campus. Monica, what are people there saying right now?
Hey, Chris, students and faculty are right over here behind me. They are calling for transparency around this investigation. It cost the university $1.2 million to hire an outside firm to conduct that report, but the results are not currently public. This school has caused controversy since its start here on campus, and UNC decided to hire an outside firm to conduct a review late last year. The report was completed this past March. Now, UNC has cited attorney-client privilege when it comes to not releasing this report, saying there is sensitive personnel information included in it. We spoke with students about why they're here today.
And so we're sort of seeing a mismatch of priorities and a mismatch in terms of who the university is holding accountable and who the university is deciding is on the cutting room floor when it comes to budget, and then who they allow to get away with at the expense of students and at the expense of faculty on this campus.
Now, a group of media outlets, including WRAL, are suing UNC for the release of that report. Attorneys argue not releasing it is a violation of public records law. Live in Chapel Hill, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools has announced it's canceling all classes next Friday ahead of teacher rallies planned for this area in Raleigh on next Friday. This is a look at some recent protests from Wake County Public Schools over budget cuts here. But the school board there voted unanimously today to add a teacher workday on Friday, May 1st, so district staff who requested to leave can attend the Kids Over Corporations rally. Officials said staff who did not request leave will be required to report for the teacher workday. Meanwhile, it was just earlier this week where the Durham Public School Board of Education also voted to make May 1st a teacher workday during a special meeting. The district said it had already received higher than average leave requests for the day and anticipate more staff absences. They say students who do not show up to school will not receive any issues with that.
Well, President Donald Trump is defending the war with Iran, and he told reporters Americans should continue to expect higher gas prices for now, but insists the pain will be worth it in the long run. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump standing firm that time is on his side in the war with Iran.
We have plenty of time, and I want to get a great deal.
Counting on economic pressure from the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports to force Iran to negotiate, though the regime says that's a key obstacle to a deal. The president announced he's ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill any boat that's putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz.
We will shoot to destroy. No hesitation, just like the drug boats in the Caribbean.
The president saying the U.S. has total control over the strait, despite Iranian attacks on 3 commercial ships that the regime claims is shown in this highly produced video, and President Trump downplayed.
Their military is totally defeated. They're outside of the little wise guy ships. I call them the wise guy ships, the little boats that they have running around with guns in them.
Still, the president acknowledged the turmoil may keep gas prices higher here at home.
For a little while. And you know what they get for that? You know what they get for that? Iran without a nuclear weapon.
Pressing the case for his strategy as polls show Americans increasingly frustrated with the war's costs and pointing to victories in degrading Iran's military and taking out senior leaders.
They don't even know who's leading the country. They're in turmoil.
Despite those successes, new NBC News reporting finds Iran's regime may have benefited politically from the attacks started by the U.S. and Israel. That's according to a Western diplomat with knowledge of the conflict and 5 Western officials with knowledge of intelligence assessments on Iran. 5 of the officials said the regime is more stable and slightly more hardline now than before the war.
President Donald Trump announced a 3-week extension of Israel's ceasefire with Lebanon as well.
Only one of President Trump's gold card visas has been approved since its introduction. That is a huge discrepancy from the Commerce Department Secretary's early claim. Howard Lutnick said $1.3 billion worth of the visas had been sold within a few days of the program launching back in December. The president's gold card visa program allows applicants to pay a $15,000 non-refundable fee to the Department of Homeland Security for speedy processing. And following a background check, applicants must then pay $1 million to get the visa, similar to a green card, which allows them to live and work in the U.S. The NTSB recommends all new school buses be equipped with alcohol detection systems that could prevent vehicles from working if the driver is impaired. Between 2015 and 2020, police across the country caught nearly 120 allegedly impaired school bus drivers behind the wheel. While federal regulators could require the detection technology, widespread enforcement is up to Congress. The agency did not provide an estimated cost of adding these detection systems or say who would fund the safety upgrade.
And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, we have another update on that Food Lion shooting from the Rocky Mount Police Department here, posting on Facebook this noon. It says into the investigation of the shooting that happened at that Food Lion back in March, they have identified Eric Patrick here. Here's a photo as another person of interest in the case. He was taken into custody on April 21st for his involvement. He was charged with attempted first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit robbery with a dangerous weapon, attempted robbery with a dangerous weapon, and assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. His first court appearance was on April 22nd, and he remains in jail.
Laura, thank you. Pursuit of perfection, the viral trend that's focused on improving physical appearance and the toll it's taking on mental health.
Plus, using AI as your realtor, the pros and the cons if you're thinking about using it to buy or sell a home. Just a reminder, make sure you download the WRAL weather app to track our rain chances for the weekend and beyond. Turn on alerts, though. That way you can get notified about severe weather in your location.
A popular look-smacking influencer made headlines this month after he suffered an apparent overdose while live streaming.
And some people may be hearing you say that, wondering, what is look-smacking and why is it so controversial? Well, Lee Waldman explains the good, the bad, and the harmful of this viral pursuit of perfection.
For pediatric psychologist Dr. Erin McTiernan, the look-smacking trend has spread from social media to her clinic.
Whether it's labeled look-smacking or not, but a lot of content focused on self-improvement.
Look-smacking, like most trends, has a light and a dark side. What Dr. McTiernan described as soft-maxing incorporates healthy habits like skincare routines, eating a balanced diet, and regular exercise.
Unfortunately, sometimes look-smacking takes it into a more rigid, regimented, extreme category, and that's when we get more concerned.
Look-smacking influencer Clavicular, whose real name is Braden Peters, has made waves promoting illicit drug use to stay thin and has even said on social media he uses a hammer to smash bones in his face to make them appear more prominent.
These are harmful and risky behaviors that they can cause severe physical and psychological damage.
Rachel Rogers and her colleagues are conducting research into the trend. So far, they're finding it is more targeted toward influencing young men.
It could be that given that for men, typically appearance is not framed as a main concern, it has to be put within that no pain, no gain framework.
While look-smacking is framed as a way to improve your life by changing your physical appearance, both McTiernan and Rogers worry about the effects it's having on mental health.
The effects on what people are really looking for, that is their lives, their social lives, their self-esteem, their mental health, are short-lived.
Well, now I know what that is. It's a little troubling to hear, if I'm being honest. Obviously, you want to make sure kids are okay. Parents, caregivers, and educators, they can help by opening up non-judgmental conversations about body image, social media pressures, and self-worth as well.
And please just know you are perfect the way you are.
Yes, you are.
Using AI to buy a house. The pros and cons of artificial intelligence, how realtors and buyers are jumping on the AI bandwagon.
Plus, bye-bye buffets. Why travelers will find fewer all-you-can-eats in Vegas. AI is helping people buy and sell homes, and it's saving them tens of thousands of dollars in the process.
Chandel Menendez tells us how it works and how traditional realtors are reacting.
It's
kind of the way the future is.
Brian O'Toole just bought his 4th home, this time using a platform called Turbo Home. It's one of several AI-powered brokerages that take away the need for buyers or sellers to pay a traditional real estate agent commission.
Especially in San Diego, especially today where every dollar counts, and I was looking to have a little bit of cost savings that I could use to put more money in my pocket.
He matched with a real person agent virtually who knew his market and used AI to compare neighborhood sales and inspection reports. He also had help if he needed it, setting up self-tours and with the closing process. In the end, the seller paid a flat fee, and the $45,000 he saved is what would have gone to a traditional agent. It's a fair question to wonder if traditional agents feel slighted by AI.
I welcome it.
But they're using it too.
And for my business, AI just makes everything a little bit easier, everything a little bit faster, and everything checked.
26-year agent Rob Brown says there's room for both.
And so I was reading this book, and now it's like real estate agents are done because of AI. And probably like in the 80s, it was like real estate agents are done because of computers. It's just a tool that we use.
Doing this presentation on AI.
He even goes as far as saying agents need to get with the AI times.
It's moving very quickly, and so I would say learn how to use it. If you're not very tech savvy, you might be in trouble.
If you're looking for in-person help with the same person from start to finish, you may still opt for a traditional agent. But if you don't mind being more hands-on, AI might be the money-saving route for you.
A 2026 homebuyer study found 75% of buyers assume AI plays a role in the process, but still want a human in the loop.
Definitely want a human in the loop, especially when it comes to predicting your weather forecast. That's why we have not AI, but meteorologist Amy Wilmoth, though she does have the letters AI in her first name, though. Amy.
That is true. Never thought about that, Chris. Yeah, right now my job is secure, at least I think. We're talking about a front that's going to come in this weekend. We're really hoping that it brings us some much needed rain. It looks like late Saturday into Sunday would be our best opportunity, and then cooler temperatures arrive. It's not cool out here right now. It's pretty warm, and we'll show you the temperatures in a moment. It's still going to be warm tomorrow ahead of the front, 88 for the high. We'll have some scattered showers and storms the second half of our day, especially in the evening and nighttime hours. Still some morning rain on Sunday, but it's going to be a cooler day with a high of 72 on Sunday. Here's a look at how much rain we could get. We're looking at 4 different models here, and anywhere from around 1/10 of an inch to maybe as high as 8/10 of an inch, depending on what model you look at. So we're kind of going in between. Around 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch is probably the most likely scenario. Looking ahead to the end of the month and early in May, it looks like we'll have above normal rainfall, so there's more signs of hope that this very dry pattern today would make 19 dry days in a row out at RDU. So hopefully this dry pattern will start to kind of wind down and we'll get some rain. Looks like we have a pretty good shot this weekend. A live look at Southern Pines. Look how blue that sky is over the Longleaf Golf and Family Course. It's beautiful outside, but it is warm. It's 83 in Rocky Mount, 86.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. New water restrictions are now in effect in Fuquay Arena. People can only use sprinklers on certain days. If your address ends in an even number, you can only water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And if your address ends in an odd number, you may only water on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. People can hand water at any time.
A Fort Bragg soldier has been charged with using classified information to win more than $400,000 in an online betting market. Special Forces Master Sergeant Gannon Ken Van Dyke was part of the operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro back in January. Well, the federal prosecutor says Van Dyke used his access to classified information to make money on the prediction market site Polymarket.
A celebration of life is being held for the 15-year-old who died in a crash involving an alleged drunk driver. Jack O'Shea was a Cardinal Gibbons student. He died after a crash on April 18. The driver, Joseph Savarino, admitted to authorities that he drank earlier in the night. Savarino, who is the grandson of former Duke basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski, is charged with driving while impaired.
Looks like one of the best attractions on the Las Vegas Strip is disappearing. No, we're not talking about the shows or the slot machines. Hotels are increasingly saying goodbye to buffets. Historically, 75% of casino resorts revenue came from the gambling floor, and then from the other 25% from other entertainment. Well, now industry leaders are focusing more on high-end dining and entertainment to help them hit their bottom line. The decision isn't sitting well with visitors, but there isn't much they can do with that.
Any parent with young children knows it can be quite exhausting keeping an eye on the active little ones. So imagine how a mama bear in California is dealing with a precarious situation involving her 2 bear cubs. For several days, people in a Southern California neighborhood have watched as she paced around a storm drain and climbed up and down a tree. You see, one cub somehow ended up stuck in the drain, and the other refuses to come down from its perch in the tree. Well, after several days, wildlife workers coaxed the cub out of the drain, and then it ran up the tree to play with its sibling. The mother bear has been spotted walking around the tree and resting in shady spots. Biologists hope the cubs will eventually learn their mother's lesson and climb down with her.
Well, our pets of the day are rabbits from the SPCA of Wake County. Meet Dwight and Talbot. Dwight is the living dust bunny. There's the photo right there. Oh, so floofy. Talbot is the picture-perfect bunny on the right. And they are male bunnies, about 9 weeks old, and were born in the shelter after their mom was found pregnant and then abandoned. They are very sweet and easy to hold. Dwight and Talbot love to hop, jump, and play together. And if you are interested in these bunnies, you can contact the SPCA of Wake County.
Love both looks there. Coming up this afternoon at 4, employment rate claims. Our PolitiFact team fact checks a claim made by the president about the number of Americans working today. Hey, thanks for watching. NBC News Daily is next.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air.